15 Things You Didn't Know About Steven Seagal. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, and welcome back to our channel. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Of course, we know in the movie industry there are mediocre actors, good actors, and legendary actors. And we're thinking, how about we talk about someone from the last category, Steven Seagal. Born on April 10, 1952 in Lansing, Michigan, Steven Frederick Seagal is the son of Samuel Segal, a math teacher of Russian Jewish origins, and Patricia, a medical technician of Dutch, English, and German ancestry. Segal's father apparently also has Mongolian roots. Steven and his family moved to California when he was only 5 years old, and later on he attended Buena Park High School in Buena Park, California, and Fullerton College between 1970 and 1971. He grew and became the well-known actor, producer, screenwriter, director, martial artist, and musician we know today. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. But how about we get to those 15 things you didn't know about Steven Seagal? Number 1. He moved to Japan when he was 19 and learned martial arts. Segal moved to Japan with his father, who was visiting for military purposes. Meeting martial arts masters, he decided to stay there. He received his first Dan degree, Shodan, under the direction of Koichi Tohei, then continued to train in Aikido as a student of Seiseki Abe, Kisaburo Asawa, and Doshu Kisomaru Ushiba, eventually attaining a 7th Dan degree and Shishan in Aikido. He also holds black belts in karate, judo, and kendo. During his 15-year stay there, he became fluent in Japanese and became the first foreigner to teach Aikido in his own dojo. Number 2. He's been married no less than 4 times. While in Japan, Segal married his first wife, Miyako Fujitani, the daughter of an Aikido instructor, and the two have children together, a son, Kentaro Segal, and a daughter, Ayako Fujitani. Segal divorced his first wife in 1986 after he returned to the USA. He was shortly married to Adrienne LaRussa before he met Dior model Kelly LeBrock, and the pair have 2 daughters together, Annalisa and Arisa, and a son, Dominic. They divorced in 1996. Segal got married once again to Ardenituya Batsuk in 2009. The couple have 1 child together, a son named Kunzang. Segal also has a daughter, Savannah by Arissa Wolf, his children's former nanny. Number 3. It didn't take him long to take over Hollywood. After he returned to the United States, Segal began to work on his first film, Above the Law, titled Nico in Europe, with director Andrew Davis and agent Michael Ovitz. It was Ovitz who took Segal to Warner Brothers to put on an Aikido demonstration. The executives were so impressed with him that they offered him several scripts, which he refused, proposing in exchange that they work together on Above the Law. Following its success, Segal's subsequent movies were Hard to Kill, Marked for Death, and Out for Justice, which were all box office hits, making Segal enter history as an action hero. Number 4. Segal was challenged by Van Damme to prove who was tougher. In the late 1990s, at a party hosted by Sylvester Stallone in Miami, Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal squared up to one another in a bid to settle who could kick the other's ass. Van Damme was tired of Segal claiming he could kick his ass, so he offered Segal outside into the backyard. Segal made his excuses and left, but Van Damme, who was berserk, attacked him down at a nightclub and offered him out again. Their confrontation never took place because Segal wanted none of it, which was probably what made Van Damme insist on saying, "If a guy like Steven Seagal slaps me once, I will slap him twice as hard." Number 5. Segal has made quite a bit of money over the lifespan of his career. If we were to draw a line, we'd find out that Steven Seagal's movies have so far amassed more than $600 million worldwide. Even nowadays, when his career seems to be declining, he still manages to rake in about $5 million per movie. Anyways, it seems as though Segal's net worth amounts to a bit less than $16 million total. Some believe this is a pretty low number considering his career, but we ask again, what would you do with $16 million? For now, we know what Segal doesn't do with it: pay taxes. In 2012, California's Franchise Tax Board announced he owed the state around $350,000. Number 6. He allegedly has a tuxedo with pockets for firearms. In addition to his martial arts abilities, Steven Seagal also has a deep interest and skill with firearms, which made him collect them. The collection includes his trademark Colt M1911, which appeared on screen in several of his movies. Furthermore, rumor has it he has a tuxedo custom-made to conceal 2 handguns. This act of tailor just goes to show that you can never know when you're gonna need 2 guns, especially at a black tie event. Looks like someone's been living inside his movie scenery a bit too long. Number 7. He taught Sean Connery martial arts. Before starring in his own action movies, Segal worked as a fight choreographer for films including James Bond feature Never Say Never. Sean Connery had to learn some Aikido moves for the role, so who other than Segal to teach him? He definitely left an impression on Sean Connery, though, as he broke his wrist during rehearsal. In Connery's own words, it happened as follows. I got a hold of Steven and we had this training in the building where I had an apartment. I got a little cocky and he broke my wrist. Apparently because of that injury, Connery hasn't been able to reach into his pocket with his right hand since the 80s. Number 8. He's reportedly the reincarnation of a 17th century Buddhist monk. Steven Seagal is a Buddhist, and he understands why he's always gravitated toward the Orient and martial arts. According to his former Buddhist instructor, Penor Rinpoche, Segal is the reincarnation of the 17th century Turton treasure hunter Changdrag Dorje, who founded a small monastery in eastern Tibet. However, Steven has not gone through the lengthy process of study and practice necessary to fully realize his potential for helping others. In order to get there, he would have to undergo years of formal training, study, and meditation that would, quote-unquote, reawaken the Tulku power. Well, the way Segal sees it, this can be summed up in just one phrase, which he did. I believe it's true, but I don't dwell on it. Number 9. Segal is also a musician. Some are just way too gifted, huh? Steven Seagal plays the guitar, but to be honest, he's not as good at it as he is at martial arts. His songs have been featured in several of his movies, including Fire Down Below and Ticker. He released his first album, Songs from the Crystal Cave, a mix of pop, world, country, and blues music, in 2006. The reviews were not the best there are, however, it's interesting that it features duets with Tony Rebel, Lady Shaw, and Stevie Wonder. Segal's second album, titled Mojo Priest, was released in April 2016. Subsequently, he spent summer 2016 touring the United States and Europe with his band, Thunderbox, in support of the album. Number 10. Segal is an admirer of Vladimir Putin and his actions. In a 2014 interview, Segal said he considered Putin to be one of the greatest living world leaders. He expressed his support for the annexation of Crimea by Russia and even appeared at a Night Wolves organized show in Sevastopol, where he depicted Ukraine as, quote, a country controlled by fascists. His views brought Segal both a ban from Ukraine for having committed socially dangerous actions and the Russian citizenship. In 2016, Vladimir Putin personally handed a new Russian passport to the American actor, saying that he hoped the gesture would show a normalization of strained relations with Washington. Don't you just get the feeling that everything Putin does is somehow suspicious or controversial? Want to know more about the one and only Russian leader? Go check out our 15 Things You Didn't Know About Vladimir Putin video to satisfy all your curiosities. Number 11. Segal also somehow got involved in law enforcement. Apparently, Segal has been a reserve deputy chief in the Jefferson Parish, Louisiana Sheriff's Office. He first had contact with this environment in the late 80s, when, after teaching the deputies martial arts, unarmed combat, and marksmanship, he was asked to join the force by Sheriff Harry Lee. It seems that Segal graduated from a police academy in Los Angeles over 20 years ago and has a certificate from Peace Officer Standards and Training, or POST, an organization that accredits California police officers. However, his rank in Louisiana remains ceremonial, as there's no record that he could actually work in law enforcement. Number 12. He invested in various businesses. Although his big money obviously comes from cinematography, Segal also has taken part in some pretty interesting business ventures. In 2005, Segal Enterprises began to market an energy drink known as Steven Seagal's Lightning Bolt, but it has since been discontinued. He also came out with an aftershave called Scent of Action, but people didn't step on each other's feet to get the product first either. He also invested in producing natural oils, working closely with the popular company Young Living Oils. Last but not least, and definitely not coming as a surprise, Segal also produced his own line of knives and weapons for sale in the past. Energy drink, aftershave, essential oils, weapons? I don't know what you're talking about. His business portfolio is completely coherent, makes total sense. Number 13. There might be a problem with the way he treats women. Segal's been subjected to several lawsuits on matters of sexual harassment and domestic violence over the years. The first one dates back to 1991, when 3 Warner Brothers employees accused him of sexual harassment. In 1995, Segal was charged with employment discrimination, sexual harassment, and breach of contract after Cheryl Schumann filed a case against Segal, accusing him of threatening and beating her during the filming of On Deadly Ground. 2 more lawsuits followed in 2010 and 2012 on allegations of sexual harassment, plus the illegal trafficking of females for sex, failure to prevent sexual harassment, and wrongful termination. Number 14. Segal is an outspoken animal rights activist. If your first thought is that he might treat his pets better than he treats his female employees, you might be right. Segal has adopted several pets and also donated time and money to environmental and Native American issues, the influence of which can be seen in some of his more recent films. He lent his voice as a narrator and activist for the film project Medicine Lake Video. The project seeks to protect sacred tribal ground near Segal's ranch in Siskiyou County. He also wrote an open letter to the leadership of Thailand in 2003, urging them to enact a law to prevent the torture of baby elephants. He was awarded a PETA Humanitarian Award for his efforts. Number 15. Segal's movies are so full of trademarks, critics thought they could make a good case study with it. Many of Segal's films share unique elements, which have become characteristic of his body of work, such as characters that have been affiliated with the CIA, virtue, and his protagonist's ability to overpower any opposition, thus never facing any bodily harm, or even temporary defeat. Another trademark could be the fact that Segal's music appears in some of his movies. And someone thought about analyzing each and every one of them. In 2008, author and critic Verne published Segalogy, a work which examines Segal's filmography using the framework of auteur theory. The book divides his filmography into different chronological eras with distinct thematic elements. The book was updated in 2012 to include more recent films and Segal's work on reality TV shows. And that's all for today, my dear Aluxer. Thanks for sticking with us, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and share the video if you liked what you saw. And our question for you today is, do you have a favorite Steven Seagal movie? Which one and why? Let us know by commenting below, and as always, we'll be with you in the comments. Still here, are you? Of course you are. You're ready for that bonus fact. Further sexual harassment accusations came up as a part of the #MeToo movement. Remember the examples we gave to explain why we believe Segal might have a bad way with women? Unfortunately, there's more. In 2017, it was actress and Ellen DeGeneres' wife, Portia de Rossi, who accused Segal of sexually harassing her during a movie audition. She claimed that during the audition in Segal's office, he told her how important it was to have chemistry off-screen before unzipping his pants. Furthermore, in 2018, actress Rachel Grant publicly made a sexual assault allegation against him, claiming an incident took place in 2002 during pre-production on his direct-to-video film Out for a Kill, released in 2003. She subsequently did not appear in the movie. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.